The human race had clawed its way to the stars not with grace, but with grit. Humanity was the new species on the galactic stage, stumbling, stubborn, and often underestimated. Lieutenant Marcus Hale of the United Earth Defense Fleet knew this better than anyone. He had been stationed as a diplomatic escort to the Threxian Dominion, one of the oldest and most powerful empires in the Orion Arm. The Threxians were insectoid, towering, with crystalline armor that refracted light into shimmering patterns. Their society was rigid, hierarchical, and ruled by a queen whose authority was absolute. To most humans, the Threxians were terrifying. To Marcus, they were simply another challenge. The diplomatic mission had gone smoothly, or so it seemed, until an ambush on the outer colonies left Marcus separated from his fleet and trapped on the Threxian flagship. The attackers weren't human nor Threxian. They were something worse, the Kalvar, a nomadic predator species known for enslaving or devouring weaker civilizations. The Threxian Queen herself had been aboard when the attack came. In the chaos, Marcus had done something no Threxian warrior had dared. He'd thrown himself between the Queen and a Kalvar strike team, wielding nothing more than his battered plasma rifle and sheer human stubbornness. He fought, bled, and refused to fall until the last of the attackers were driven back. When silence finally fell over the blood-streaked crystalline hall, Marcus stood swaying on his feet, his armor shattered, his hands scorched from overheating his weapon. The Queen had simply stared at him, her multifaceted eyes reflecting his exhausted frame. Then, in a voice like breaking glass, she whispered the words that would echo through Marcus's soul forever. "This can't be." Her mandibles trembled as though she herself could not believe the sight of a fragile human shielding her, the most sacred being in the Dominion, with nothing but his mortal frame. The following days were tense. Marcus, gravely wounded, was kept alive by Threxian biohealers. Their strange, iridescent gels fused his broken bones, knit torn flesh, and left his skin glowing faintly in the dark. But the Queen did not leave his side. She watched him, studied him, and spoke little. The Threxian court, however, spoke endlessly. "He is an abomination," one noble hissed. "A human is unworthy to share chambers with the Queen," spat another. "He shielded her with his body," said a third, uncertain. "Even our warriors would not dare such recklessness." The debate raged, but the Queen silenced them with a single command. Marcus was to remain under her protection. At first, Marcus assumed she kept him close out of political necessity. But one night, as the twin moons of the Threxian homeworld bled silver light into the crystalline palace, the Queen spoke again. "I trembled," she admitted, her mandibles lowering. "When you stood before me, I felt fear. Not of the Kalvar, not of death, but of you." Marcus frowned. "Fear of me? I don't understand. Your kind burns with a fire that should not exist. You are fragile, yet you stand against monsters. You are finite, yet you act as though immortal. We, who live for centuries, calculate and weigh every risk. You," her mandibles clicked in agitation, "you throw yourself into danger without pause. Why?" Marcus thought about it. Back on Earth, bravery had always been demanded of him. Not because he was fearless, but because someone had to be willing to do the impossible when everyone else hesitated. "Because someone has to," he said quietly. "If we wait for certainty, we're already dead. Fear doesn't stop us. It's what proves we're alive." The Queen's multifaceted eyes glittered. For the first time, Marcus thought he saw something like wonder within them. Yet not all within the Dominion shared her fascination. The High Brood Council, a circle of elder matriarchs, demanded Marcus's removal. To them, his presence was not just improper, it was dangerous. The queen grows unsettled, hissed Matron Vale. This human's recklessness contaminates her judgment. He must be disposed of, said another, before the people see weakness in her eyes. But Serenith, the queen, was unmoved. Then call it weakness, she declared, her voice echoing through the crystal halls. For the first time in centuries, I trembled not with fear of death, but with awe of life. This human stays. The council seethed. That night, Marcus and Serenith spoke again. They fear me, Marcus said. They fear what you awaken in me, Serenith corrected. I was born into certainty. My life has been scripted since before I could crawl. You break that script. You show me a world where choice matters more than fate. Marcus gave a wry smile. On Earth, we call that freedom. The queen tasted the word, repeating it in her crystalline voice. Freedom. It cracked like a jewel splitting, sharp and beautiful. But freedom came at a cost. The Kalvar returned in greater numbers, striking deep into Threxian space. The Dominion's armies, vast and disciplined, struggled against the unpredictable ferocity of their foe. Serenith herself prepared to lead her fleets into war. Marcus insisted on joining her, though he was no Threxian warrior. You'll need someone who understands unpredictability, he said. The queen tilted her head. You would fight again, though you nearly died before? Especially because I nearly died before, Marcus said. If I've only got one life, I'd rather spend it doing something that matters. Her mandibles clicked, trembling faintly. This can't be, she whispered again. But she did not stop him. Climax. The final battle came at the Cradle Nebula, where Kalvar hive ships gathered like carrion birds. The Threxian armada shimmered like a storm of light, crystalline hulls refracting stars into a rainbow blaze. Marcus stood beside Serenith in the command spire, his heart pounding. The queen towered above, wings spread wide, her voice carrying across the fleet. Today we tremble not with fear, but with purpose. For the Dominion. For life. The battle erupted. Kalvar ships swarmed like locusts, tearing into Threxian formations. The air within the spire shook with the roar of weapons and the screams of dying ships. At the height of the chaos, a Kalvar dreadnought rammed through the line, bearing down on the flagship. Shields flickered, alarms wailed. Marcus saw the inevitable. The dreadnought's core was overloading, seconds from detonation. If it struck, Serenith and her entire command would be obliterated. Without thinking, Marcus seized the helm controls of a crippled escort frigate linked to the flagship systems. He overrode safety protocols, redirected thrusters, and hurled the frigate directly into the dreadnought's path. The collision ignited in a supernova of light, tearing both ships apart before they could strike the Queen's vessel. Marcus was thrown to the deck, his body shattered from the feedback surge. His vision blurred, but he heard Serenith's cry, a sound of rage, fear, and something far deeper. She knelt beside him, her vast form trembling. Why? She demanded, her voice breaking. Why always you, human? Why do you give what you cannot spare? Marcus forced a smile through bloodied lips. Because someone has to. The Queen trembled, mandibles quivering. This can't be, she whispered again, but this time her voice cracked with grief. Ending. Marcus survived barely. Months of alien healing grafted new strength into him. Those scars would remain forever.